One of my biggest mistakes is I was looking for a camera that was good for photography and I wasn't actually looking for the right specs for videography, which is, it's. Hey, welcome. My name is Z and I love making videos. I love doing tutorials and tips on how I shoot my videos, from the gear that I use to the software that I use. You can check out some of the stuff that I've done on my Instagram. And hey, if that's your kind of thing, please do consider subscribing. And if you've been here before, hey, welcome back. You know what it is. Today I'm going to be sharing 5 things that I think are important when you're looking at buying your first camera for video. When my videography journey started, I was just using a phone. I would pretty much just point at something and start recording. But when I started to invest in camera gear and professional gear, I realized I didn't know anything. I didn't know anything about cameras. And I think one of my biggest mistakes is I was looking for a camera that was good for photography and I wasn't actually looking for the right specs for videography. And I think these 5 things will help you. Of course, they're not exclusive, but at least they helped me and they still help me today when I'm choosing a camera to buy for video. So the first thing is the flip up or flip out screen. And if you're going to be buying a camera, especially if you're going to be doing vlogging, or if you're going to be doing YouTube where you're pretty much recording yourself, you want to have a camera that has a screen that flips out so that you can be able to monitor yourself as you're recording, as opposed to having a camera that has a fixed screen where you literally press record, come on the other side, record for 10 minutes, and then you go back and you realize that you are actually out of frame. That is something that you don't want, and that would be frustrating. The second thing is autofocus. You want a camera that has an autofocus that you can rely on, especially if you're going to be investing a lot of money into it. For example, Canon has an autofocus system called Dual Pixel, and it's one of the best in the industry, and you can always rely on it. But you always want to check if that actual camera has it. My Canon M50 has the Dual Pixel autofocus, but only up to 1080p. When I start shooting in 4K, I lose that dual pixel autofocus and it starts using what's called contrast detection autofocus, which is, it's unreliable. It's unreliable. It starts doing something that's called hunting, where it's trying to nail focus on your face, but it's missing the focus and it's just blurring out and focusing and blurring out. And that's something that you don't want, especially if you're spending a lot of money in a camera that you are going to rely on it nailing focus on your face. Especially if this is going to be your first camera, I'm sure you're not going to be doing a lot of manual focus, so you'd want to have a really reliable autofocus. The third thing is mic input. You may not buy an external mic initially when you buy your camera, but you'd want to invest one in the future, especially if you're going to be doing a lot of vlogging or YouTubing or interviews or anything that involves dialogue in your videos, because you cannot rely on the inbuilt microphones, especially in the mirrorless and DSLR cameras, because they are not just that great. I mean, they've come a long way, but they don't sound really great. For example, right now you're hearing the audio from an external microphone, and now I'm going to switch to the inbuilt microphone inside my Sony a6400, and you can hear the difference. It doesn't sound that great. So in the future, you'd want to invest in an external microphone, and you would want to have that option available on your camera body, where you can plug in, whether it's a lapel mic, shotgun mic, or stereo mic or anything. I don't know if it's psychological or scientific, I don't know, but it's a proven fact that people are willing to pay attention to a video even if it has poor quality in image, but as long as it has great quality in audio. But it's highly likely that they may lose attention if your video has great quality in video but poor quality in audio. The fourth thing is recording capability, and by that I mean, does it shoot 1080p? Does it shoot 4K? What kind of frame rates does it shoot in? These are all important things when you're considering a camera for video. For example, if you are intending on doing a lot of commercial work for clients, then you'd want to consider a camera that can shoot in 4K, because some clients will actually ask you to deliver the footage in 4K. But if you're doing a lot of vlogging or YouTube, 1080p is something that you can actually settle for. Even if the camera doesn't have 4K, you can actually settle for 1080p if you're going to be doing a lot of vlogging. And actually, it's more advisable to settle for 1080p, because if you shoot your vlogs in 4K, you're going to have space issues on your memory card, on your computer, and you're going to need a really powerful computer, because 4K is a bit heavy on RAM and graphics to render out. So you don't want to be stuck with the computer that's frozen whilst you're trying to edit your vlog. So 1080p is really good. A lot of computers can actually process it. No matter what video purposes you're buying a camera for, I would say it's advisable to just buy a camera that has different kinds of frame rates, like 24, 30, and 60 being, the least you could go in terms of higher frame rates, because it's important to have that ability to shoot at higher frame rates so that if you do at one point want to slow down footage, you can make use of that higher frame rate. And if you don't know what frame rates are, you are in the right place, but you just need to shift to another video. I did a video on frame rates a few weeks ago, so you can check that out before you continue. And then the fifth thing is lens system. This mostly applies to people who are looking at buying a camera that they'll be constantly upgrading in the future and getting better and better at video. You want to view cameras like an ecosystem, like how Apple has an ecosystem where you can buy an iPhone and an iPad, but you can use the same charger on both. You can use the same accessories. That's how you want to view cameras, at least if you're going to be upgrading. For example, my Canon M50, again, amazing camera, absolutely love it. It was released in 2018, but still relevant even today in 2020. It uses a lens system called EFM mount, and what that means is the lenses that go here, like this lens, is an EFM mount lens. But as much as Canon has a long lineup of cameras that you can choose from, they do not have many EFM mount cameras. So if I wanted to upgrade from this one, I'll probably be upgrading to their EFM mount cameras or their EOS R mount cameras. That may be confusing, but what that simply means is when I upgrade from this camera, I have to buy the body, I'd have to buy new lenses again, I'd have to buy new batteries, I'd have to buy new accessories because they probably might not be the same, which can be pricey, which can be a lot because camera gear is already expensive. So you'd want to buy a camera that allows you to just, once you have this lens, you can buy another body and still be able to use this lens on that other body as well. It'll work out cheaper in the long run because you don't have to always be buying everything again and again. For example, with my Sony a6400, which I'm recording with right now, if I wanted to upgrade it to the Sony a6600, I don't have to buy new lenses. I can use the ones that I already have. I don't have to buy new accessories. They use similar accessories. So yeah, those are my 5 things that I think are important when you're considering buying a camera for video especially, and not photography. I think it's important to distinguish between the two because you can have a camera that has a lot of megapixels, but it doesn't have really great recording capabilities, or it doesn't have 4K if you needed 4K, or it doesn't have higher frame rates if you needed them, or it doesn't have an audio jack, or it doesn't have a flip out screen, which are things you would need mostly for video. So if this video was helpful to you, please let me know in the comments down below and leave a like. If you haven't subscribed, please consider that and hit the notification bell. And do check out my Instagram if you want to see more. If you haven't already, you can still go there. But yeah, that's it from me. Until next time.